faculty. Firstly, wishing all my students a very best for tomorrow, जो कि D-Day है, जहाँ पे आप लोग अपना English Literature option subject के answers लिखेंगे, final exam देंगे. So today the lesson is not about any particular age or writer or text. Today I'm talking about the strategy, how to write perfect answers to cast a good impression on the examiner, where you can fetch very good marks. So this is for all my students who are aiming to clear the UPSC Civil Services. And let's go ahead and explore what are the 10 ways, 10 simple methods जो कि आपको एक बहुत ही अच्छा direction दे सकते हैं wherein you can write really good answers. So let's go ahead with that. So 10 strategies for writing perfect answer for UPSC English Literature optional subject. First of all, guys, understand the question first. Sometimes, in haste, हम लोग क्या करते हैं जल्दबाजी में, that we just look at the question and we just keep on writing, but do not commit this mistake. Understand the question की question का demand क्या है? Is it talking about the analysis? Is it talking about, any thematic concern? Is it giving reference to any motive or symbol, or a statement has been given? और उस statement से हमें decipher करके उसके बारे में अपना comment देना है, critical evaluation देना है. Please read the question very carefully. There is a difference between critical commentary or analytical abilities with which you assess the answer and write, and of course thematic concerns. So make sure carefully identify what the examiner is asking you. Analysis, comparison, context, or any evaluation, okay? So many students lose marks by writing all they know rather than addressing the specific subject that is asked, okay? So make sure कि जो भी है, read your question very carefully, read twice, even if the question seems very simple, so that your mind gets the time to process the question and then you write accordingly. So please keep this in mind, a very simple thing, but keep it in mind. For example, if the question is discuss the symbolism of time in Larkin's work, okay? Don't narrate his poems. Focus on how ambulance or days or anything are using the metaphorical or the, the figure of speeches. So make sure the analysis is about the author, about the poetry, about the text, and you're not giving a summary. Make sure that, make very sure that in order to give long answers, do not summarize the work. Summary is not what the question ever asks. Okay, आपका analysis क्या है, आपका perspective क्या है, that is always the question of UPSC will ask, okay? Begin with a very focused introduction. As I always say, the first impression that you can cast for a good answer is to focus on the first 3 to 4 lines, how you are beginning your question, answer. And the best part about this कि हमारा introduction बहुत अच्छा हो सकता है. Why? Because we are reinstating exactly what the question is asking. That does not mean कि हम लोगों ने पूरा का पूरा question copy paste कर दिया. Take that question in consideration. Write it in your different words, but tell the examiner that yes, you have understood the question, and jitna bhi aapke answers hoga, that will be according to what the question is asking. So look at the demand and then you have to go ahead with the answer in that manner. Start with 2-3 crisp sentences, reinstating what the question is asking. Do not copy the words of the question, use different words always. Okay, that frame the content, define the concept and signal your line of argument, and then you hint. अभी हमारा जो कंटेंट है वो तो 3 से 4 लाइंस के बाद आएगा, राइट? कि जिस पॉइंट पे हम लोग, बट हिंट at what you are going to go ahead with. Avoid any vague generalization. No, don't make it a very broad answer. Narrow it down, because that is what exactly the question is asking you. So, and for example, if asked about modernism, briefly state what modernism was, how the author fits into it, and then you go on about it. For instance, give an example. T.S. Eliot, The Wasteland, epitomizes modernism in its fragmentation, mythic method, and disillusioned vision of post-war. I've just taken The Wasteland as an example. Wasteland is not in your course, but I'm just telling you that if a question like this comes, you talk about modernism a bit, and then you go ahead with the T.S. Eliot's Wasteland. Okay, so make sure that whatever the question is asking, go ahead in the similar manner as per your question. Reinstate the same with different words. Organize in thematic paragraphs. This is a very important and crucial point, because यही हमारा content का जो meaty contents होते हैं, जो हमारे answer का जहाँ पे हमें points मिलेंगे, वही का होता है ये. So take every, for instance, your question answer, your question is asking for four things. For instance, if we talk about, WH Auden, all right. So अगर उसमें disillusionment के बारे में है, Second World War के बारे में है, the repercussions of the Second World War, the disillusionment with that, make those 4 points roughly in your mind and then हर point को focus आप अलग अलग paragraphs में करें. You can, for instance, you can club 2 points in one paragraph. Don't make your paragraph more than 5 to 6 lines long. Never. Okay, so make your paragraphs short, but not very short, neither very long. Make them so that it's good to read, easy to read and easy to understand. Clarity is what is always focused. Clarity and lucidity. Each paragraph should make one clear point supported with explanation and example. Okay, so if you can validate your answer, your point with an example from the work or by talking about the characters or any scene, that is going to be excellent for your answer. So this makes the answer structured, easy to follow and examiner friendly. So paragraph should follow a very logical flow. Okay, it has to be very logic. For instance, you are going step by step. Don't make it a खिचड़ी. ये नहीं कि हम सारे points discuss करें, फिर से हम लोग jump करें, hover करें. No. Make every point. Not that you have to talk about disillusionment and repercussions, everything in one paragraph. Go para by para. This helps a lot for the examiner that yes, you know that your head is clear about the points that you're talking about. Balance content with criticism. So whatever your content is, a critical evaluation is important. As I said, the examiner is not looking for summary. The examiner is looking at how much you have understood the text, how much contextual analysis you can go ahead with. So blend textual analysis, plot, theme, characters, line with critical perspectives of your own, how you have comprehended and understood the text. I'm sure all my students have practiced writing answers, whatever discussions that we have had. So quote, for instance, you're talking about Beckett's Waiting for Godot. Talk about, quote Martin Eslin's Theatre of the Absurd. 1961 में term आया था, Martin Esslin ने किया था. So no, this actually makes your answer very, very rich. Then you have use textual evidence very wisely. Bring in short, memorable phrases or images rather than long quotations. As it is, you have a limited number of words to write. You cannot go on about one answer. So do not quote long sentences. Use short sentences. Okay, for instance, Samuel Beckett में Waiting for Godot में है phrase, nothing happens. Okay, use it wisely. Don't just throw the phrase like that, but when you use these terms which have become so popular, so this actually brings a lot of substance to your answer. So bring in short memorable phrases. For example, black sail unfamiliar in Larkin's next please. You know, ये सारे छोटे-छोटे quotes अगर याद है, go ahead with that. Okay, so nobody's asking because the course is humongous and also that you cannot be expected कि आप लोग T.S. Eliot के love song of the J. Alfred Prufrock के पूरे दो line याद करें. It should be of course in your mind, but then quotation is not important as much as referring to certain phrases and then going about it. All right, so that's important. Compare and contextualize whenever possible. Show awareness of the broader literary field. Compare writers with contemporaries or predecessors. You can give this is a very optional thing. You can do it if you are aware of it. This is especially for those students who have already good knowledge, who are English honors and masters in literature. A lot of students do not have this as background and they go on about taking literature. However, if you can, briefly you can mention this. This will actually give you that the knowledge that you have is in depth. Okay, so this gives a good impression that yes, literature has been taken very seriously and you are a very serious student of literature. Okay, so you can go ahead about it, but in case you do not have that option, it's totally fine. This is an optional thing that you can go ahead with it. Then maintain balance in tone, avoid any one-sided answers, present both strengths and limitations. When you're writing about the answer, look at what the question is demanding. Okay, if the question is talking about the post-war disillusionment, what exactly it is, and go ahead about it. Then about that, go ahead with your limitations as well as what benefits it is. Okay, so whatever that you are writing, it has to have a very balanced tone. Do not be extremely, like inclined towards something. Okay, your inclination should be in a very balanced format. Make sure that you're going ahead with that. Conclude with insight and not summary. Okay, when the conclusion comes, now end with 2-3 lines that provide closure and intellectual weight. The closure and the beginning, very important. When you're closing your answer, do not just give a summary of what you've written. Give it a critical इंटेलिजेंट इंसाइट, एक ऐसे इंटेलेक्चुअल लगे कि ठीक है ये द एंडिंग इज गिविंग सम वेट टू योर आंसर. So instead of merely repeating points, conclude with a larger reflection on how you have written and went about the answer, how the text speaks to the human condition, or why it remains significant. Okay, so this conclusion will hold much more value as compared to any summary that you're doing of an answer. Conclusion is not about summary. It's about your own, how much intellectual weight you're adding to your answer. Then you have follow word discipline. Now this is important, guys. 10 marks के लिए आपको very explicitly they state कि 150 marks का question होगा. 15 marks के लिए 250 words or 225 words, 230 words is enough. 20 marks, go ahead with 300 words. Okay, so make sure that in that limit you have to write answers. Don't go beyond that. Don't exceed beyond that. Don't think कि मैं ज़्यादा लिखूंगी तो बहुत ज़्यादा marks मिल जाएंगे. No, it does not work like that. All that they need is how much in the given instruction, the given number of words, how much you can add value to your answer. That is important. And lastly, guys, cultivate a literary style. Answer should be lucid yet elevated. Don't, as I said in the first go, don't think कि high flowing vocabulary ही सबसे ज़्यादा important है. सबसे ज़्यादा important है, yes, good, decent academic words, but lucid, clarity, conspicuousness in your answer, कि कितना clear लग रहा है आपका answer. Okay, so use precise vocabulary terms like existential anxiety, circularity, anti-romantic stance, tragic comedy, जो कि relevant है text के साथ. हर text का अपना एक particular words होते हैं. Try to use those words in your answers. Okay, so guys, with this, I just wanted to tell all my students the 10 strategies to write perfect answers. I again wish everyone the very best for your upcoming exam. And I hope that you all pass out with flying colors and you all make us also proud by becoming UPSC civil servants. Thank you, everyone. And I hope to see you all in another role now as civil servants. Thank you, everyone.